Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today in this video we are going to take a look at the ACES workflow inside Nuke. So the first thing comes in your mind, what is the ACES and why we need to use ACES and how to use ACES in Nuke and other softwares like that. Let's first see the little bit of information about ACES and all the other color space which we are using in our day-to-day life. So as you can see, I have a diagram here which will going to tell you all the colors we are using currently. So as you can see, I have this ACES, the full ACES, and this is ACES CG, this is the Rec 709, and this is the DCI P3, and this is Rec 2020. So the most common color space we are currently using is the Rec 709, or also we can call the sRGB colors. As you can see, I have here sRGB. So this is the color diagram first of all, and as you can see, the Rec 709 is including inside this rectangle, so we can't see the full green and the full red. As you can see, this is a very small area which sRGB and Rec 709 capturing the color amount, and this is the limit of how much color they can output. Same for the DCI P3. So this one is we can see in the theater, and this is the Rec 2020. And as you can see, now we have this ACES. So this is the full ACES, and as you can see, it's capturing entirely all the color in this color chart, as you can see. And when we are adding a CG and all that stuff, that time we are using the ACES CG. So you can see the ACES full ACES for full ACES color, and the ACES CG one, it's a little bit small, but we are capturing almost all the color. And when we are adding any CG stuff in our plate, we are using ACES CG, and then we are outputting back to the Rec 709 P3 or any other color stuff like that. And this chart is showing the ACES CG and the sRGB color space. So as you can see, this sRGB is very small. As you can see, we don't have much range in the red and the green and the magenta also, but the ACES CG is covering a lot of the things. This is the color space we are using in Nuke. And in the 3D software also, when we are rendering, so we are using ACES CG that time. Let's see the workflow from rendering CG stuff and working fully in Nuke. So let's see how this will benefit in your compositing. And the main advantage of using ACES, you get more color, as you can see, and you get more range in your highlight and shadow also. So that is the advantage. And the second advantage, if you are rendering anything in ACES CG, then you can output in any color space, because as I said, if you check this graph, this ACES CG and the full ACES is covering entire all the color space which we are using, because this is the full color spectrum diagram, and the ACES is covering entire thing. So that means we can output Rec 709 P3 DCI P3 Rec 2020 and all that stuff. So imagine if you have Rec 70 input and you have to output this P3 color space. You can't do, because there is no information. As you can see, the P3 is cover a lot more data than Rec 709 in this color space. So that is the advantage of using ACES. You can output any of this color space format. This is the advantage of using ACES. So let's see how you can use in Nuke. First of all, we will see how to use ACES to render any CG stuff. As you can see, in the basic CG stuff, we are adding a texture, I mean the albedo texture to the model and anything stuff like that. For that, we have this texture like 8-bit sRGB map. So we need to convert this one before we using this texture in our 3D software. We have to convert this texture to ACES to get the ACES output from the CG. If you are directly using this sRGB texture in your CG render without converting your texture, then it will look wrong. So first thing, we need to convert our 8-bit sRGB texture into ACES CG. So as you can see, first thing you have to import in Nuke, or you can do it in any software which is supporting this conversion. So first of all, make sure you go your project setting in your Nuke and set this OCIO first, and then choose the latest ACES. So in my case, I have ACES 1.0.3. So I'm setting this one up, and if you check here, as you can see, once I set, the working color space is ACES CG by default, and my monitor is sRGB because I'm working in sRGB monitor. And by default, if you import any files, it will apply these color space by default. So if you import any 8-bit file, it will apply this utility sRGB, and if you import any 16-bit file, it will apply ACES CC, and if you import a float file, it will apply ACES CG. As you can see, I import this one, and the Nuke is by default applying the matte paint, this utility sRGB. So it's both are the same, as you can see, but I know this texture is sRGB only. What I can do, I need to go here, and for the color space in the output, and as you can see, I can see the sRGB. So I have to select this one, and now it's properly colored. Now I applied a proper color space for this one because I know this is the sRGB texture. Now we need to convert this to SSCG. For that, we can use OCIO color space, so this node, then you can connect this one directly here. Here we need to select the same thing. We need to select this is the sRGB, and we are converting this to SSCG. Okay, once we do that, then you can use this one. You can use this 8-bit texture now to render a SSCG. Okay, and then inside and then you can import back this one inside Nuke, so it will look the same. So if I add a dot here, so let's assume we are rendering this one into CG package, and now we are getting this output, and then we can do a compositing, and then in the output time, then we can render this one. So I'm just rendering this one. Okay, so I'm just adding a name dot, this is a sRGB, and when you are outputting, make sure you have to choose the proper color space. So in this one, I'm going to here, so I'm outputting this one sRGB, and now I can just hit render. And as you can see, if I import this one, and it's showing linear because I have to go here and select, this is a 8-bit file, so I have to select this one, and as you can see, they both are matching because in our viewer I set this to sRGB. So once you load your OCIO ACES, so this color space will come automatically. As you can see, we can select sRGB and P3 DCI, also Rex 09, all that stuff, and this is how the workflow is. We need to convert this texture, and we need to convert first of all we need to select the proper color space for the node, and then you can convert to SSCG, and once we convert, you can write this one here. So for the write this thing, we need to select this one, and just saying SSCG.exr. so always exr when you are writing anything from SSCG or output. So I'm selecting SSCG, and then here make sure you have select your color space properly, so SSCG, and make sure you check this one, write ACES compile and exr, then we have ACES information here, and then we can render this one like that. And let's import this to just check. So this is the ACES. So as you can see, so they both are looking same, but as you can see, this is showing linear. We need to select this is the SSCG, and it's proper now. So as you can see, now they both are matching 1 to 1. So we can select this one like here, and then you can use this 8-bit texture because this is a 8-bit, but it's converted to the SSCG, so we can render in our 3D software using this texture file. So the colors and everything will affect properly when we are rendering into SSCG, and then we can convert this back to this format. So as you can see, they will match. Then you can output in sRGB, or we can output in Rex 09. See here, and let's use that Rex 709. So let's render this one first, and let's see, git render. So now we have sRGB, and let's import the Rex 709 output also. So here make sure you select proper, this is the Rex 709, and as you can see, They both are looking exactly the same, but they have a little bit of difference because here in the viewer I'm viewing sRGB. So as you can see, they are looking same. So for the Rec 709, I can just change this to Rec 709 and see the color is looking little bit of different, as you can see. So this is where you can render multiple output when you are working in ACES Colorspace. So this is the CG stuff. So this is for the 8-bit map, and if you are wondering, we have to convert all the texture we are using in all the models, so which is not. So in the 3D space, when we are working the texture files, we have a bit map, so we can also call albedo map. So this is the albedo, which is containing the color information for that specific model, and then we have all the other texture file like normal map, displacement map, and ambient occlusion map, and specular map, and all that stuff. So these are the maps. It's called the utility map. So these are the info maps. So we don't see them here in the output. We only see the effect. So they contain the value, so we can see in the output. It's not visible in the output. It's only visible this color map. So we don't need to convert normal map and the bump map and all that stuff. You only need to convert this 8-bit albedo map, so which is basically showing the color value for that object. So that's why we always need to convert this map first. So the second thing we are using in the 3D space is the HDR map. So as you can see, so this is also the color value map. So we can see the red, green, and blue color. So this is for the lighting purpose we are using. So this also has to be converted to ACES CG. Most of the time these are the linear sRGB. So this is sRGB color space, but the linear curve. That's why we have this range and all that stuff. So we need to convert this one also. So as you can see, once I import, it's showing scene linear. What I can do, I can come here in the color space and go into here and the utility, and here as you can see, we can see the linear sRGB. We need to apply this one first. As you can see, now we see the less color here, and then we can took this same OCIO color space here and plug this one here, and then you can tell this one, I know this is the linear sRGB. And once you do that, and we are outputting ACES CG. So as you can see, this one is converted to ACES CG, and then you can use this one in our 3D software, and you can output our lighting to that object, and you can basically do the same thing. You can output here. So the most important thing you need to understand, any sRGB texture which containing the color information that you are going to see in the output file, you need to convert that. You don't need to convert info pass like displacement maps and normal maps, all that specular map and all that stuff. You just need to convert this red, green, and blue map. If your map have a grayscale map, so you don't need to convert them to ACES CG. You can directly use in your 3D package. So this is the workflow for that ACES CG for your rendering CG stuff. So you need to convert your maps before you can use in your ACES workflow. So let's talk about how to use inside Nuke if you don't have any CG and you purely have 2D stuff in your comp. So how to use ACES in that case? So first of all, you need to set color management to OCIO and ACES. Okay, after that, so let's see, I'm importing a file. So this one I imported. I know this is the ACES. So sorry, I know this is a sRGB file. So but as you can see, Nuke is telling me this is a bitmap. So Nuke is telling me, so this is a matte paint. So I need to convert this one. First of all, let's see how much color difference we can see once we are converting this to sRGB. And as you can see, it's getting brighter and all that stuff, which is pretty good. And then you can do all your compositing in between. And while you outputting, you have to do the same thing. Just connect your output node here. So in the read file, just open it, and I'm just going here and doing again rendering. So this is a test image, and I'm rendering as a PNG. So I'm rendering this one as a PNG, and the same thing what we did in the above, we have to select the output color space. So in this case, I'm outputting this one to sRGB, and then you can basically render this one. So the main thing you have to remember, you have to set a input color space. So this input color space you have to set it here. The file which I'm importing, what is the color space we have, otherwise it will look wrong. And then you can output while you're doing your compositing in between, then you can output here. Okay, and same for here. See, I'm importing again. This is the PNG and this is EXR, so you need to convert. So if you are using these two directly inside your Nuke, then you don't have to do a OCIO color space transformation. You just need to go here and just select. So this is the sRGB. You just need to select this sRGB, then you can use in your comp, and then you can output basically. So like I'm using this one and I'm merging from here. So I'm doing a little bit of compositing like that, and then I can output here. So this is the way you can use, and this is same for this HDR. So you can go here and select this is the linear sRGB, and then you can use this one in your comp. If you are doing reflection and all that stuff, make sure you are apply a proper color space here, and then you can use it in your comp, and then you can output in the specific color space in your output node. Let's see when we are importing the array footage and any other camera footage, in that case what we have to do. So as you can see, I imported this sample file from array website. So if I show you here, so this is the map. I took it from Polyheaven, and the camera sample is they are providing here, as you can see. So this is the LXR35 log C4 and log C4 reference images. So they are providing this TIFF file for the exam, for the test sample. So they have provided a mini mode, as you can see. I downloaded this one and this footage also. So let's see, and as you can see, so let me show you. So this is the log one. So this is what they are saying. So as you can see, this is the log C3, and it will look like this. And once you convert this to Rec 709, it will look like this. Okay, so I imported this one first. So as you can see, I import this one and it will look wrong, because Nuke think this TIFF file is 8-bit, so it applied this texture paint. I don't know. We need to go here and go to the color space, and in the input we can see the array, and we have this all the log v3 color space. So I'm just applying the first one, and as you can see, immediately it will look very natural, and it basically converted this to this. It will apply this log v3, and then because we are in ACES, it will apply this ACES color space. So if I output this one in the ACES sRGB, it will look exactly same what I'm seeing here. So if I convert this to Rec 709, so now this is the Rec 709 output. And if I if I view from DC P3, now it will look P3. In the output, I have to select P3 sRGB, then it will look correct. So as you can see, it will convert it. And this is the Rec 709. If I view this one, it will look wrong, because we need to come here, do our output. So this is Rec 709, and as you can see, as I selected Rec 709, it will look correct. If I go here and select also the Rec 709 ACES, and as you can see, it looked exactly the same as we see here. See, it's almost looking exactly the same. As you can see, these color icons. So this is how you can convert in any of your input file. So this may be our input file. So we need to do compositing. So you need to select proper color space, then you can do compositing here, and after that, then I can just simply add a write node, and let's write this one to see array to sRGB of EXR. So this one is array to sRGB. So I'm selecting here. So this is the sRGB color space. So single frame, I'm just rendering one frame. Okay, so as you can see, I imported this one. Let's import this array sRGB file, and it will look wrong because we need to select here output sRGB, and it will look correct. Let's render one more file, which is going to be a PNG, so we can open in our Explorer, Windows Explorer. So output is same as sRGB, and let's render. Okay, so let's import that sRGB PNG, and let's see, let's apply a proper color space. And as you can see, this sRGB PNG and this sRGB EXR, they both are looking exactly the same. And let me open this in the Explorer also. And as you can see, this is in the Windows Explorer and this is in the Nuke. As you can see, they are looking exactly the same because we are properly managing the color space, which is the input. We assign it proper color space for the input and the proper color space for the output, and it's only possible because of the ACES Colorspace. So this input and output is properly managing because of the ACES is happening in between. Once we apply this one log v3, this file converted to the ACES, and then we are seeing in the ACES RGB and all that color space here. And in the output time, we are applying a proper color space, then it will convert back to this sRGB that we are currently viewing here. So I'm viewing sRGB, so it will output exactly what I'm seeing here. So that's why in the PNG and the EXR file you are seeing exactly the same, and in the Explorer also you can see that they are matching exactly one to one. In Nuke you need to set your input, and then in the output time you need to set your proper output, so then it will look correct. So in the CG stuff, you need to convert your texture to ACES CG, from sRGB to ACES CG, and then in the render you need to enable the ACES CG and you need to render in ACES CG EXR file, and then we can output and do your compositing. And in the Nuke you can output in any output format, any output color space you want. So this is the ACES Colorspace workflow inside Nuke and in your 3D software. Please let me know in the comment. So if you check any of my tutorial, you always see ACES here because the by default I set it the ACES in my Nuke. So for that, what you can do, you can go to your preferences. In the preferences you have a color management tab, as you can see, and here I set it ACES CG by default. So that's why every time if I open Nuke, this ACES CG is set for by default for me. So all the format is ACES going to handle, and in the output time I just need to assign a proper color space and all the files are looking exactly the same. Thank you for watching, and if you have any question about ACES, please let me know in the comment. I will try to help you, and we will see you in our next one. Have a great day.